super friends. My name is Annie, and welcome back to another episode of Superhero Saturday, where we talk about the arts of superheroes, storytelling, and so much more. This weekend is Valentine's Day, and the timing could not have been more perfect, because my favorite superhero is finally coming to HBO Max. Share some love in the chat. Woo! Everyone has their favorite superhero character that's near and dear to their hearts. The one they always pick for their fantasy teams, the one that can do no wrong, the one that they follow with the trained eye of Batman looking for acrobatic orphans to add to his collection. Besides my own characters, my favorite superhero is the one that actually really got me started into superhero stories in the first place. His name is Static Shock.
Nobody know what I do. Okay, superhero.
You can't really see it, but I've also got his t-shirt on, but I wore it so much that it basically evaporated the design. But I do have swag. Static is my favorite superhero for a variety of reasons. He's funny, he's smart, he loves being a hero, and he's got some great integrity and also some very relatable flaws, like occasional bouts of pride and laziness, you know, your typical thing. But mostly it's because of his award-winning show that premiered on Kids WB in the early 2000s. I realize that's like 20 years old now, and a lot of you watching this video might think that that is old, so I'm gonna give you a recap. The early 2000s was the culmination of a long history of animated superhero shows that turned Saturday mornings into a high-flying adventures for kids everywhere. And it's actually the reason I called this channel Superhero Saturday. Nah, see? The forerunners to this new millennium included shows like the Super Friends, that Spider-Man show from all of those memes, Scooby-Doo and the Gang, and so much more. But like the massive Marvel movies we know so well today, the late 90s and early 2000s converged to create an animated universe that basically set the standard. The shows included in this universe were Batman the Animated Series, which started in the 1990s, Superman the Animated Series, The New Batman Adventures, which was basically just another chapter in Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, a weird sideshow called The Zeta Project that didn't make much of an impact, and of course, Static Shock. The creators of this universe, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, did amazing work integrating the storylines, characters, and artistic styles of these different shows, and it made for some epic Saturday mornings for me as a kid. In fact, I think it is all of these shows combined that is the most influential for my own artistic style. With all these Justice League characters flying around, it may surprise you to learn that Static Shock is actually not originally from DC. He got his start in 1993 at Milestone Media, a comic book publisher that was founded the same year. The four founders wanted to give fictional voices to minority groups in comic book form, especially for Black men like them. In fact, the inspiration for Static came from a song by the same name by James Brown. I just learned that in researching for this video, and it makes me feel so cool because I do the exact same thing. The character that would become arguably their most well-known creation was Virgil Hawkins, an inner-city Black kid who gets electromagnetic superpowers after a gang war leads to a chemical explosion known as the Big Bang. As voice actor Phil Lamar said, Static is basically a Black Spider-Man, long before Miles Morales showed up on the scene. When the WB first produced Static in September of 2000, it was the first superhero show to feature a Black lead, and Static himself was still in the Milestone universe. But due to the success of the other DCAU shows, Season 2 started seeing him crossing over with our favorite Justice League characters, and he was absorbed into the company. The man credited with the creation of Static Shock, Dwayne McDuffie, had his hand in many episodes, both in Static's show and others. He wrote extensively for comics, animated television, and animated movies, writing for stories as far-flung as Ben 10, What's New Scooby-Doo, Spider-Man, and Teen Titans, all before his untimely death in 2011. The Static Shock show was equally as varied, with crossovers throughout the 4-season run from all the other DC Animated Universe shows and real-life cameos drawn into the city of Dakota, including rapper Lil Romeo, who for an episode or two became the hero of Static Shock. Because why not? Along with being incredibly popular with audiences, the show was also critically acclaimed. It was nominated for and won several awards, including the Humanitas Prize for its enriching and educational treatment of important issues affecting children and teens. Some episodes see Static dealing with problems like gangs, drugs, guns, homelessness, child abuse, and more, but in a way that is respectful, honest, and compassionate. Although I love seeing Static laughing and zapping things and joking with the supervillains, it was this element of fighting the good fight both on and off the screen that really got me hooked into superhero storytelling. And this week, Static Shock is coming back to television screens everywhere through HBO Max, and I am so excited to see my favorite superhero character back in action once again. I know it's 20 years old now, and it's probably not as mind-blowing as my rose-colored glasses lead me to believe, but it is definitely a groundbreaking and very entertaining show, and well worth another look. Are you old enough to have seen this show in its prime? Or maybe have you heard some news about new Static Shock productions that I don't know about? Or maybe you want to tell us what your favorite superhero is, or how you got started into superhero stories in the first place yourself. Go ahead and put those down in the comments below and join in the conversation. Especially any Static news if you have any, because I'm not really up to date. And thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more superheroic content every single Saturday. You can join the team by following us on social media or supporting us on Patreon. And if you want to see my own DC Animated Universe inspired productions, you can go to our website at www.fearless9.com and pick up some new characters to add to your collection of favorites. Thanks again for watching, Super Friends, and we'll see you next week.